What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Coach to Coach, where we're going to go through how to tell what part of your system isn't working in terms of building your coaching business. So there are a lot of systems that go into building coaching. And as a coach, I have a lot of people reaching out and DMing me saying, hey, Andrew, I have a lot of things going on. Like, I feel like I'm marketing. I feel like I'm promoting my program kind of regularly. I'm doing content regularly. So I've got systems in place. And yet for some reason, I'm not getting the results that I want. Maybe you're not getting enough clients. Maybe you're getting clients, but they're kind of all over the map in terms of their readiness or their willingness to commit with you as a coach. And so as you go through this process, especially as you're also working to deliver value to those clients as well, it's going to leave you in a spot where you're feeling very content fatigued, where you might be feeling really uninspired to keep talking about your offer, or just super frustrated that like people aren't coming to your amazing program because you know as a coach, and I know as a coach, that you know how to deliver the greatest results possible. So what I'd like to do is go through the parts of a typical coaching system and see where you could be going wrong, so that way you can really isolate that thing. Because there are a lot of steps in this process in which a coach can take a step back and say, you know what, there's so much going on here, I just don't know what it is. I'm not sure if it's content, I'm not sure if it's my application. So in terms of the parts that I'm going to be talking about in this video, part number one is going to be content, because of course content's what's the initial draw. There's going to be your funnel process, there's going to be the application, then what I like to call the nurture and action step in between that application, your discovery call, and then finally the pitch on your discovery call, or however you are pitching or promoting the offer. So to start, we're going to go straight into content piece. There are a lot of things that coaches experience when it comes to content. Maybe you're attracting the people who aren't ready and they are scared to invest in, they're really flaky. Well, that says a lot about what you're talking about in the content and the actual way that you're showing up. Maybe you're being told in your content that like, oh, your content's super great, but I'm so inspired by you. I so motivated when I hear your posts, or I really love your posts. But then you're thinking to yourself, well, like if you love my posts, how come you're not taking action? Or maybe you're finding that your content is working, but it's taking way too long to have people join your offer. Like maybe from the first piece of that they see in your content all the way to when they like hop on a discovery call, they're like, I've been watching you for 8 months. And you're saying to yourself, wow, that's great, but how come you didn't take action in 2 months? Why did you have to wait the 8 months? Okay, so here's what's going on if you're experiencing these things with your content. So to start, your content is only speaking to the information and it's not getting them emotionally. So as a coach, yes, we have to provide value in the form of information. You have to give away the how, for sure. And this is not giving them fluffy action steps or holding back on the information. You can't be afraid to literally provide them what is in your program, because it's through that value and through applying the information that they're going to see a small result and say, hey, this coach actually knows what they're talking about. So yes, it is important we give information. But if we only speak to give them the action steps and the how, and we don't get them invested emotionally in their challenge or their change, then there's no incentive to actually get support and reach out to a coach or to take the next step. And this is where someone can be stuck on the weight loss journey forever, or they can be stuck humming and hawing between, do I do this specific modality, or do I speak to a therapist? Do I talk with a doctor? A lot of the commitment from people comes from an emotional level first, and then a logical decision as to who do I need to see or who do I need to hire as a coach. So if we cannot get them emotionally invested in their journey and in their change, if we cannot connect with them in our content on an emotional level, then even though your information might be super valuable, they might just take it, save your post, save your reel, never look at it again, because everyone has the intention of looking at it. And let's be real, I've saved tons of shit into my reels and my saved feed, and I've never ever looked at them. Because once we look at the information and we get the instant value, if we're not emotionally drawn to it, we actually don't go back to it again. So from a content perspective, you need to look at what the verbiage is and how you're speaking to the challenge, so that way you can resonate with them on an emotional level to get them emotionally invested. Now, another thing from a content piece is if you're experiencing content issues, you probably aren't speaking to the right part of their journey, which means that they either may not be ready or they might not be the right fit for the program. So let me give you an example, okay? And this was an example that I was actually sharing on our fast launch weekend. I just did a fast launch weekend with a client, like a 2-day sprint, where we launched her program in like 2 days, got everything up and running, her funnels, her systems. It was beautiful. But she had a kind of piece that she wanted to talk about in content. And she said, I want to show people that I can help them lose 10 pounds. And I said, it's important for you to understand that every single word and every piece of content can mean something different depending on what stage of the journey that they're at. So the example of losing 10 pounds, if someone's goal is to lose 10 pounds, you can have the person who's at the very end of their journey, hey, I just have the last 10 pounds to lose. That looks totally different than at the very beginning of their journey, which is like, oh, I'm really struggling with my weight loss and I'm just looking to lose my first 10 pounds. The thought process is different. The emotions are different. The level of commitment is different, as well as the way that you need to be talking about the challenge is different. For someone at the very beginning of that journey, you're going to need to make content that is talking about the struggle, the challenge. They've spoken to the doctor, they've seen the therapist, they're doing the things, and yet they can't even see a single result. So this is where you can step in and then say, here's how I can help you lose that first 10 pounds. But if you look on that complete other end of the spectrum, the person who is on the last 10 pounds, they're already consistent. They're already doing the workouts. They're already putting in the work. And yet what they need at this point is the adjustment, the tweak, something different that's going to tip the scales for them, so that way they can hit the very end of their goal and then be taught how to do it in terms of sustainability. So if I was to create content on that, it would be like, you're already doing the right things. You're already working out every day. You're already seeing results. And here's what's going to get you to the next step. Here's what's going to make it sustainable. Here's how you can lose the last 10. And so if we create content like that, we are speaking to the specific part of their journey that they're in, and that's going to connect to them, because they're going to say, oh, you're talking about me. I'm resonating on this level, and this is actually the spot in my journey, which I am. The more you speak to the spot of their journey, the easier it's going to be as a human for them to say, hey, I'm actually connecting with you, so you might be the coach, or you might be the person, or have the thing, the program that's going to be able to get me to that next level. Okay? Now, final piece from a content, and this is something that all coaches need to work on. Your call to action is using verbiage that makes them think like they have a choice. I want all of you guys to stop this video right now, and I want you to take a look at your content to see if at the end of the post you are using the words if or when. Here's examples of this. Like, if you're ready to join the program, do X. Or when you're ready to speak with a coach, reach out to me. That's terrible. Remove if and when out of the verbiage of your coaching from all of your call to actions. Because if you think about it, the person who is ready to work with you as a coach does not use if. They're ready now. If you're ready, well, then they're going to say to themselves, oh, well, am I ready? Am I ready to do this? When you're willing. Well, okay, well, when am I going to be willing to do it? There's a question there that they have to subconsciously ask themselves, and it's going to ultimately lead people to two places. The first place is they're going to say to themselves, well, am I actually ready for a coach right now? And that answer might be no, option number one. Or option number two, well, if it's an if and when, the question that I have to answer myself is, yes, I am ready. Well, when am I going to be ready? Or when am I going to do this? If I do this, what does that look like? We want to create content using a call to action that is so clear that the action to go, the action to book the call, the action to DM you is something that is already implied. So I don't say, if you're ready, join Fast Launch. I'm like, join Fast Launch. This is what you need. You need to be here. This is how you see the result that you're looking for. And so when they take a look at that, they say, oh, this is what I need. I do need to be here. This is the result that I'm looking for. So little verbiage in your calls to actions like if and when, or making assumptions to say, conditions as to why they should reach out to you, that's not going to give you good lead draw. That's ultimately going to lead someone to say, maybe I should be questioning this process a little further, and it's going to push off their decision. So you want to make it super clear with your calls to action by removing the ifs and when, and having your call to action so clear that they're going to take initiative, or they're going to decide maybe your offer is not, their offer is not for you. Your offer is not for them. There we go. and they're going to move on, which is totally great. Okay. Next part of your part pieces for coaching systems is the funnel system. Your funnel includes a lot of things. It includes the reach out, so how you want them to reach out to you. It includes the value draw, which is how you're building trust through your funnel system. And it includes the way that you're presenting the offer or the thing that they're going to take the next action step on. Okay? So here's where most coaches go wrong when it comes to the funnel. Most coaches don't even have a process for this. It's like for every person who reaches out, they tend to do something different. One person, you're DMing. The second person, you're dropping voice messages. The third person, you ask a couple questions and then you're sending a link for an application. And when your funnel system is not the same, it means that you're having all of your leads go through a process that's different. And so it's going to seem like the people you're attracting is random, and it's going to seem like your results are random. If we want to get consistently the same person in coaching, if we want to attract tons of people into our group coaching programs who are like-minded, who are leveled up, who are ascended and ready, then we have to make sure that they follow the same process. So if you're going through the process, you want to make sure that the reach out system is the same, that the application is the same, that you're asking the same questions. And you're going to say to me, well, Andrew, I don't know, that doesn't really feel like me. Sometimes I like to message, sometimes I like to DM. And what I'm going to tell you is this, well, then good luck scaling. Because when you get to a point like me and my wife, where you have teammates, where you have people helping you with sales calls, where you have VAs in the process, a team looks like being able to have a process that is repeatable. And if you're going to struggle to tell someone how to do that process, then your process will never be consistent and your funnel will always feel like it's really, really clunky. The way that I like to do this is, regardless of whether you have 5 people coming in as leads or 500, the process should take the same time, should be the same amount of effort, and it should be absolutely streamlined so there's no second guessing or missing people during the funnel phase. Okay? Now, if you do have a process in the funnel, okay, what you might be frustrated with this step is that maybe people going through your funnel, they're not going through the funnel process fast enough, okay? Or maybe with the speed at the end of the funnel, you're attracting the wrong person, okay? Which sometimes does happen. Sometimes people are like, Andrew, I'm getting people in my funnel system, but it takes them 6 months to convert. Or by the time they get to the discovery call, they actually can't afford the program, or it's not what they're looking for. And they're like, what the hell is going on? Okay. So here's what's going on in terms of the funnel. Okay. When you have a funnel, you need to provide value within the funnel, and it needs to be a funnel that people say yes to at different stages each time. So as an example of this, a large part of my funnel in the coach-to-coach system, in my fast launch program where we help coaches launch their program in 60 days, In our funnel, what I like to do is I like to do bi-weekly master classes and live trainings because I like to share with people different pieces and tools that they can use, and that also builds a high level of trust. I also do this because I know that coaching business owners is a higher price point, and if they don't know me or don't understand how I operate as a coach, it'll be very difficult for them to connect and say yes to whatever my offer is. So step number one is through my content, I get them to DM me a specific word. I get them to reach out to me using a very clear call to action, and I connect with them on an emotional level with the content. The first yes that they have to say yes to is the post. DM me fast launch, DM me coach to coach, DM me C2C, DM me irresistible offer, or sometimes I use like just funny words like sauce, because why not? It also helps you distinguish where they came from which post, okay? But in doing that, the reason why I have them do something to speak to me is because in the act of doing, they are making the decision to take the first subconscious yes. And the first subconscious yes is, yes, I am interested enough to learn more information. I say, want more information? Want the link for this? Want the live training for this? You must say yes. And then we enter the DMs. From the DM perspective, for me, coach to coach is a discovery call because I want to learn about business, but about your business, where you're at, what your challenges are. So my funnel system takes two directions. If someone is looking for fast launch, a program that is from a group coaching perspective, where coaches come in and they're all learning together, then I actually don't do a discovery call. So in this case, I have a set of questions in which I ask people via voice to make sure that I can actually help them with fast launch. And then I say, if you are open to it, I can share more information on the program and what the investment looks like. This now is the second yes as a part of the funnel, in which then I can share with them the program, or I can share with them whatever the masterclass or the live seminar that they're looking for is. Once they say yes, that's the second yes that they do. This is where then I can say, hey, here's what the next step is. And usually the next step is, before they ask for program information, is they're asking to attend the masterclass. Once they attend the masterclass, same thing. I have them ask for the information, reach out to me, DM this word. So they're saying yes at least a minimum of 3 times through my funnel process. Yes, to learn more about the program. Yes, to attend the masterclass. And yes, to possibly send the link for more information, or to hop on a discovery call depending on what stage or what program they're at. So each time they're making a micro level commitment to themselves to tell them that they are interested in the program and in the process. Now, in order for this funnel system to work, and here's the second part of the funnel, you need to provide the right value draw to have people either build trust with you or to learn about you through the process. This is where my master classes and my live trainings come in. If a coach has never worked with me before, it would be outlandish to say, hey, commit 8 months to me when you have no idea what I'm about or no idea if my stuff is going to work for you. I don't expect that. I don't want people to take that risk or that chance. Any coach who applies for coach to coach program is someone who's in the ready state. They've already attended a few of my master classes and they know, hey, I've done this work and anything in the master class worked. Everything I did through fast launch, I saw results with. And so now they're ready for the next step. So in my masterclasses and my live trainings, I use a value draw, which is talking about a specific topic, giving the how, giving the information, but then tailoring a small micro offer to allow them to solve the remainder of the problem for that information. And I've talked about the value stack funnel system. I've got a training on both value stacked funnel, which again, if you guys want it, then you can send me a message at coached@gmail.com. So COACHED number 2 COACH@gmail.com. And I'll send you both the value stack training as well as the irresistible offer, because those were two masterclasses I just did last month. And it shows you effectively how to choose the right value draw, as well as what adjustments you need to make from this micro offer. So that way they can then take the next step, which is either learn more information of your program or actually take the program through the process. Okay. Now, the third piece from this funnel is like at the end of providing this value draw, you do the masterclass, you do the seminar, you do the 3-day challenge or micro transformation program. You then have to have an offer that's going to match what they're looking for in their journey. One of the strangest things, which has always blown my mind, is sometimes coaches only have one offer. They don't have a downsell. They don't have an upsell. They don't have something specific because, let's face it, sometimes as coaches, we're like, well, everyone needs this one program. True, but the thing is if you have a masterclass or a training on a specific topic, you should have a low barrier offer or something which is just a sidestep in, which is very easy for these people to join. So sometimes at the end of the funnel, they get to the end of the funnel, they're like, I want to join, and then your offer doesn't match what they're looking for or what they need. And that's wild to me. So this is where it would be really good for you guys to watch the irresistible offer and learn how to build a full offer that's actually going to match what they're looking for. Like I said, that's a different thing, but this is all a part of the funnel making process. Okay. Now, once someone goes through the funnel and they're ready, there's going to be the part of application. Your application. In my opinion, this area is where most coaches go wrong. An application should absolutely be a part of any program that's above $400, and anything above $400, in my opinion, is high ticket coaching or involved in any group program, because it allows you to vet if they are the right people for the program, but also see if this person has any red flags that could potentially become objections to you on calls. So from an application perspective, here's what's going on with most coaches, okay? Most coaches have questions on their applications that do not matter whatsoever, and the application takes way too long. I'm not looking for an application that says, what are you eating day to day? Truthfully, I don't give a shit. That's just the truth. Because regardless of what you're eating in our health programs, I'm probably going to be changing that. So I really don't care what you're eating day to day. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what's preventing you from seeing success. I want to know why you took so long to reach out to a coach. I want to know if you're willing to invest. And then I want to know why you are a good fit to be in the program. Those are the only questions that are needed in an application, because it allows you to see whether or not they're coachable and whether or not they actually have the right mindset that is willing to invest and willing to change. So if you're asking for a bunch of medical or background history, it doesn't make any sense. It's going to take too long, and this person already has a sense of fear or like overwhelmed, just like, ooh, I'm finally taking the initiative to apply. They don't want to take 15 to 20 minutes to fill out an application. It's just going to be too much for them. So you want to make sure that your applications are really potent, and it's getting down to what the things you need to make sure that they're in the right container and that they're ready for coaching. Okay. Now, a second thing that, I don't know, coaches get thrown off for the application is sometimes because they feel like they're not getting a lot of leads, coaches will bypass their application process because they want to talk with more people. That doesn't make any sense. It's not your application process that is preventing people from becoming leads. It's content and it's your funnel system. So when you finally get someone who's ready, don't just take anyone into your containers because they won't be the right fit. Don't just accept anyone on your discovery calls or your consultations because they might come with a shit ton of objections or may not be willing to financially invest. And there's no point in you going through the process only for them to say no to you. It's a waste of your time, and truthfully, it's a waste of theirs. And as a coach, it's our responsibility and our emotional integrity that we should only talk with people who are ready to coach, who are excited to work with us, and we know are willing to invest, so that way when they finally take the initiative to share their goals, we can give them the right offer and help them. If that person leaves the call without our help for any reason, whether they're not ready, not a good fit, not the right financial price point, you have given them a disservice because you put them all through the process of this ringer only to tell them at the end, guess what? You're leaving with no support today. That means that it's going to be significantly harder for them to then overcome another conversation with a coach to be able to get help. So do not bypass your application process, because it's not going to be the thing that gets you more leads. It's the thing that helps you find the right person. Okay. Now, if you are going to have someone go through the application process, please, and this is another thing which coaches throw off, okay, you actually have to look at the application when it's filled. There's nothing more frustrating as a client or a potential client than, and I've had this happen to me with other coaches and stuff, because me and Lorna, we work with tons of coaches, okay? And it's not just coaches. It happens with financial advisors and stuff too, okay? I'll share this with you guys. We had a financial advisor who made me fill out a very extensive application. What are your goals? What are you looking to achieve? I spent probably close to 20 minutes filling this thing out because I fill things out in depth. And this is actually the way that like all of our clients in coach to coach as well too. They invest the time to do it because they feel like, hey, look, if I'm going to do this process, I want to do it in full, which makes sense. And then after filling all of that, we go into, their version of the consultation, and I'm sitting there and they're asking all of the questions again that I took 20 minutes to fill out in the consult. And respectfully, that was a waste of my time. It was a complete turnoff because I said to myself, did you even read the application? Did you look at anything that I shared with you? Or was it just a time waste or something that you made me do just because you thought that that should be a part of the process? So when you're going through the application, actually look at the application that's filled and don't go and ask the same identical questions on the discovery call. As a matter of fact, your application process should then significantly shorten the discovery call because you're only getting deeper from there. So don't make clients repeat the process through the application. Actually take the time to look through that application process and make sure that it is complete fit for them. Okay? Now, the next one. Once someone applies for the program, there's going to be a part here which most coaches don't do a good job in, which is the nurture and action step before the discovery call. This is, I would say, mainly a part of high ticket programs, because if you have a program that's like a $99 offer or like a $199 a month, truthfully, there's not a lot of nurture that needs to be done. But there's nothing wrong with adding this step in because like with this section, it can significantly increase your chance of someone going, oh, this person actually cares through the problem or through the process. Okay. So I'm just going to tell you what this nurture and action step should look like and kind of what's wrong in this process. Okay. What's wrong? 99% of coaches don't have it. What the action step needs to be here is when someone applies for the program, in between that application and your discovery call, you should have them do something. You should send them a free training. You should send them something to be able to watch, like a client testimonial. You should send them a personalized email and say, hey, I really appreciate you sharing this and sharing this goal, and be specific with the stuff that they've applied, and then have them do something. Have them watch the training and let you know what they thought about it. Have them watch the client testimonial and let you know what resonated with them. Ask them those questions, because what it shows is you are a coach who cares about their journey and their process. You're not just looking to fill an application and then book a discovery call. It's a 30-second step that can significantly have someone invested to hop on the call and show up on the call. So what I mean by that is this. If you're booking like we did with our hormone reboot program with our health coaching company, if you're booking consultations 3 to 4 days out, someone fills out the application on Monday, your next available spot is Thursday, and it happens. My spots fill all the time. In between Monday and Thursday, they're going to lose the emotional buy-in. They're going to lose the investment. They're going to get busy with life. And so what happens is sometimes they go, oh, I'm just so overwhelmed. I'm not that invested or excited about the call anymore. But if you do things in between then and the call, you have them do action steps, you have them invest more time, you have them watch a free training, you provide them with a free resource, then they are going to feel invested about the call. They're going to say, this person and this coach was excited to meet me, invested time to write a personal email, to drop a personal video. And so they're going to feel more committed to show up to the call and more excited to be a part of the process, because they're going to say to themselves, if this is the start of the process now, imagine what it's going to be like to work with this coach and be in their program. So adding this small little part and this small step is going to significantly increase the chance in your show rate for someone to show up on that discovery call, but also their likelihood of committing to the program afterwards. Okay. Now we got the final part. So you've done the content, you've had the value stack funnel system that attracts people, you've had the right value draw, you've had them fill out the application, you're getting them to do things in between now and the consult. Now you have the consult, and at the very end, you've got the pitch. The pitch or the ask. Now, when a coach pitches or asks a person to join their program, this should be the easiest step in the process, because if you have done everything else right in the parts that I just shared, then there's not going to be any objections. There's not going to be any complaints. There's not going to be any uncertainty. There's just going to be excitement from the person in front of you who is all in and ready to join the process. And the reason why is because at the end of this, they've said yes to themselves many times. They've made the commitment. They've aligned with you emotionally. They've taken you up on an offer logically. They've received value from you in which they built trust. And so there's really nothing else that should be stopping them. Now, you may come across someone who might need help with the financial side. Cool. This is where you will have an offer that will have different payment options, or you'll have a downsell, and that's very easy. The objection of price is usually they're going to say, hey, I'd love to do this. Like, coach, I want to work with you. Are there payment plans? Is there any other way that we can do this process? And so that'll be simple. Outside of that, if you are receiving any other objection, fear, I need to think about it, I'm uncertain, like, can I get back to you? My husband needs to help me make a decision. All of that stuff is indicating that somewhere along the line, your process is not good. So your content isn't speaking to the right person. Your funnel didn't attract someone who was ready and willing to make that decision on their own. Your value didn't build trust, and that's why they need to think about it, because they don't trust you. So everything from the pitch is not about the pitch. It's really about whether or not you did everything else right, okay? And I want to share something to you, okay? Or to you. Holy cow. Yeah, I want to share something to you. I want to share something with you, okay? Whether it's the Coach to Coach program or even Fast Launch that I'm running right now, when I have people reach out or hop on a discovery call, the people say that they are ready. And they also say, look, Andrew, I know that I need this. So presenting the offer becomes really, really simple. Okay, this is how you present the pitch or the offer. You ask permission to share how your program works. Okay, you tell them the option that you believe that is best for them. Okay, and it's the prescriptive method. And I'm actually going to be doing my next Coach to Coach episode on it. Okay, then you ask them, hey, look, do you have any questions on what I just shared? Cool. After you've answered whatever questions, if they have any, then you share the investment with the options. That's it. It's not hard. Where most coaches go wrong with the pitch is they don't, like, if you're doing all of the right things, where you could butcher the pitch is maybe you're not asking the right questions leading up to it. Like, you're not getting emotional buy-in. You're not going deep. When someone says something that's a red flag, you're like, oh, I'll just pretend I didn't hear that because I want them to get to the end where I promote my offer. For me, on my discovery calls, the goal of my discovery call is get off the call ASAP. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I'm saying is I'm here to see if they're a good fit to work with me. And the moment I see a red flag, I got to bring it up right away. Because I might spend 40 minutes, and at the end, if I saw an objection I saw earlier or didn't bring up the right thing, all of a sudden I've just wasted 40 minutes of my time instead of bringing it up and asking the right questions. I'm looking for the red flags. I'm looking for someone who's not coachable. I'm looking for someone who won't do the work. Because the moment I find those things, I'm going to ask them, hey, I heard you said this. Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to be coached? Are you saying this out of fear? What's the real challenge here? Because if there's anything that comes up in that moment, it will almost certainly, 99.999%, almost certainly will be the thing that they object to at the end of the process. So I want to ask the right questions leading up to it. Also, another thing as well is you could ask all the right questions, but then also tend to lose the sale when you get scared or passive at the end. And this also comes down to the verbiage. So when you're presenting the decision to join, what do you say? Do you go, what do you think? So are you ready to do this? Are you ready to join? Do you have any questions? Do you want to be a part of this process? That doesn't make any sense, because of course they're ready to do this. They don't need to think of anything else. Anytime you ask someone a question, they're going to repeat it in their mind. Example, do you have any questions? They're going to say to themselves, shit, should I have questions? And if they don't, now they're going to think, oh, I guess I have questions now. Okay. So what do you think? Do you want to join? Again, the question plays in their mind. Oh, do I want to join? Instead of, okay, let's do this. Hey, we're going to get you set up right now. We're going to fill out your account, and this is going to be the next steps in the process. I'm freaking fired up for you to change. That's certainty. Hey, look, I'm here to commit with you as a coach. Or from a pricing perspective, hey, you got to pay it in full, you got payments. Which option works best for you? Payments. Cool. Amazing. We're going to get you rolled out right now. I'm super pumped to get you started on Monday. That level of certainty after that is the difference between asking them to make the commitment or having them follow through with the commitment. Because let's be real, that's why they're there on the consultation. That's why they're there on the call. And this could be a really big part that a lot of coaches miss when it comes to the pitch. Okay. Now that goes into all the parts of the systems for coaching. And here's my recommendation. My recommendation is to work through each of these systems individually so you can see what's working and then start top down. Because again, don't work on your consult process if you're like not attracting the right people and don't have any leads. That doesn't make sense. Start from the top of content and then work all the way through your funnel. Okay. Now, and here's the thing too. Okay. The largest two parts of this process is definitely creating client converting content and building a value stack funnel system. And that is exactly what I built and launched the Fast Launch program for. I built that to help coaches build, promote, and fill a program and their offer in less than 60 days. Because if we don't have content that attracts the right person, or we don't have a way to get clients to build trust quickly, then there's not going to be anyone to fill out an application or anyone to hop on a discovery call with. So if you are looking to make your program super approachable, you want people to have a draw to you as a coach, then you need to have that irresistible offer and content that attracts them, that makes them put up their hand. It's the only way that programs fill these days, because let's face it, ads are not drawing what they used to in terms of the quality of people. And you also don't have the time to attend or show up to multiple networking meetings a week because you have a limited amount of time in your space and build the relationships needed to get people to commit with you. Okay. Now, from the Fast Launch program, we literally started the first training of Fast Launch this past Monday, so 2 days ago. You can still get in and be a part of the launch period so you can have your program and your offer filled ASAP. Just go to the show notes in the description in the YouTube channel. And the website is www.fit4allfitness.com/fastlaunch. So allfitness.com/fast launch. And from there, you can see more info on the program as well as register. The registry's there, the price point's there. There's no hiding anything. It's like, get in, you know you need this, and this is going to be super, super powerful for you. So that's all for this training. Thanks, coaches, for watching. Coach, King, and Queens, see you on the next episode of Coach to Coach. Thanks for watching, and we will catch you later. Bye.